Sawadika, good evening, and thank you for joining us for the evening edition of NBT World Brief. You're here with me every Saturday evening. I'm Chinita Sidakit Krathon. Starting with the first story of this evening, Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul, together with the relevant cabinet ministers, today met members of the media at the event called 1 Month of Global Crisis, Thailand's Plan in a Changed World. The briefing comes after 1 month of fighting in the Middle East, which has pushed up global energy prices and increased pressure on the cost of living in many countries. The Prime Minister said governments around the world are facing the same energy crisis and have introduced measures to help their citizens while encouraging energy saving. With no clear sign of the conflict, when will it end? Thailand must continue to adjust its policies as the situation evolves. Prime Minister Anutin also mentioned that the fuel shortages seen at some petrol stations is largely eased after improvements to supply logistics and enforcement of actions against hoarding and illegal fuel trade. The government stressed it has not yet floated fuel prices but has gradually reduced subsidies to better reflect global market conditions. Attapon Rakpiboon, the Minister of Energy, clarified that Thailand still has 107 days worth of oil reserves, with oil importation operations have continued uninterrupted, and this was expected to be the case until at least May. The government also suspended exportation to neighboring countries except to Myanmar and Laos due to international energy cooperation agreements. Domestic production has been increased and the refining ratio has been modified in favor of increasing the amount of diesel fuel available, where support is also being given to biodiesel usage as an alternative fuel for industry. Sihasak Phongket, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, indicated that at the press briefing that diplomatic channels were being used to negotiate with Iran regarding opening up of the Strait of Hormuz to Thai cargo vessels. He said this effort has been successful as Thailand reiterated to Iran that the former was not a party to the current Middle East conflict with Thailand, while Thailand was committed to international laws about safe navigation rights. The foreign minister added that Iranian authorities have been able to reach the Thai cargo vessel stranded near the Strait of Hormuz after having earlier come under attack. However, confirmation is yet to be made about the condition of the 3 crew members who remain unaccounted for. Supaji Suthampan, the Minister of Commerce, elaborated that many economic measures are being taken in light of the current situation. From the 1st of April, products from major producers will be sent to retail and wholesale stores to encourage price drops by reducing retailers' costs. Around 500 blue flag stores will operate to sell goods at low prices, with the Ministry of Commerce to release a blue flag calendar informing the public of the size of these blue flag stores as well as the dates and times when these stores will be open. The ministry is also promoting greater use of domestically made fertilizers while reminding sellers that fertilizer prices, if it rises, it will need to be required a formal approval from the ministry. The Ministry of Finance has asserted that a phase 2 of the half and half plus subsidized purchases program will launch after the new government takes office, with the relevant systems having already been prepared. Lawan Sangsanit, Permanent Secretary for the Ministry of Finance, elaborated on measures to keep the cost of living viable during the current Middle East crisis. He explained at today's Meet the Press event by the Cabinet that the lowering of the fuel excise has been considered in tandem with the use of funds from the Oil Fuel Fund. The objective was to manage fuel prices at service stations and alleviate impact that prices have on the public. Meanwhile, preparations have been made for the phase 2 of the Kola Krung Plus subsidized purchases program, with the mechanism of the subsidy expected to reduce people's burdens stemming from living cost, with the latter having risen due to high oil prices. Phase 2 of Half and Half Plus is expected to progress after the new cabinet takes office. The Provincial Commerce Office in THONG has taken legal steps to prosecute an oil trader which sold oil to service stations at exaggerated prices. Meanwhile, monitoring of oil trading activities are ongoing in other provinces. Sikan Phương-Phu, the head of THONG Provincial Commerce Office, filed a report with the police complaining against a local oil trading firm which sold oil to service stations in Singburi at 40 baht and 50 stang per litre when the oil stock was acquired for just 30 baht and 85 stang per litre. This action has been deemed as excessive profiteering, an offence that entailed a maximum fine of 140,000 baht or 7 years of imprisonment under the Goods and Services Pricing Act of 1999. In other provinces, authorities continue to monitor oil trading activities. In Saratburi, officials from the Provincial Commerce and Energy Offices inspected petrol stations in Muak Lek district to prevent fuel hoarding and foster confidence for the public. The inspection team found that some service stations were out of fuel as people have been visiting in great numbers to fill up their tanks. This was especially true for diesel fuel. In other stations, less people have been coming after fuel prices rose significantly, and these stations no longer limit the amount of fuel they sell to a buyer at a time. The inspection team also randomly checked on fertilizer sellers, finding that prices have not yet increased. However, they told the sellers to clearly display the prices of each product. Tomorrow will be the final day of the 44th Thailand Tourism Festival at Queen Sirikit National Convention Centre, with exhibitors and visitors believing that the event will contribute to the domestic economy. The Tourism Authority of Thailand, or TAT, has launched the 44th Thailand Tourism Festival at the Queen Sirikit National Convention Centre in Bangkok, with the opening ceremony presided over by the Permanent Secretary for Tourism and Sports, Natriya Thaweewong, along with Permanent Secretary to the Prime Minister's Office, Yupa Thaweewattana Kitpawon, and the TAT Governor, Thapani Kiatphaiboon. Organized by the TAT, the events runs from March of the 25th to the 29th and presents great tourism deals from across Thailand. The event promotes domestic travel through the 5 must-do in Thailand concept, encouraging visitors to experience local culture, cuisine and ways of life. Exhibitors from all regions showcase destinations and community-based attractions while also promoting sustainable tourism practices. The festival at the same time enhances regional identity, encouraging travel that generates income for communities. The TAT Governor Thapani said that the event is set to drive domestic travel and guarantee continued growth in the tourism sector. The campaign is also expected to help encourage year-round travel while supporting Thailand's status as a high-quality destination. Exhibitors expect the event to stimulate travel in Thailand, despite current economic conditions have an impact on people's purchasing power. The exhibitors are offering promotional prices for accommodations and services while giving importance to sustainable tourism and creating future marketing opportunities. Visitors to Thailand Tourism Festival express their belief that the activities at the fair will stimulate the domestic economy, voicing their satisfaction with the diverse tourism and food products on offer. They admitted, however, that current economic circumstances and the oil price situation were having impacts on them. The visitors noted they aim to plan their travels in greater detail and increase the use of public transportation in order to drive better values from their trips. That is it for our evening edition of the NBT World Brief. You can stay updated with the latest development right here on NBT and NBT World. And for more stories, simply scan the QR code on your screen right here to access all of our full coverage across all media platforms. Until next time, I'm Shanita Sidaket Krathon. Sawadee ka.